I need to sound off on my fan. Right. Hello, everyone. We are live, hopefully. If anyone's watching, just give us a wave, say hi. So we
know it's working. I think it's working, so I could hear it on your computer.
Don't we love your photography? Don't we love technology? Oh my God, I can't even talk today. So we are live here today with Ben Heasman. Yay! And for people who don't know us, maybe I'll just introduce ourselves. I'm Antonina Mamzenko. This is Emma Collins, and we've started this real chat for real life photographers group in an effort to kind of elevate documentary family photography and our sort of artistic photography in the UK and Europe. And through this interview series, we're sort of trying to introduce you to amazing artists that we have plenty in the UK and that they don't get shouted about nearly enough. And one of them is Ben. So Ben is a father, a photographer, an artist, a fine art teacher in the past. And Ben says that for him, creating things is a way of learning and figuring things out. And Ben, correct me if I'm wrong. And doing photography, particularly real life photography, helps him to get closer to exploring the meanings of family and parenthood and love and gratitude and everything that sort of comes with that. Artist, a fine art teacher in the past. Whoops. And Ben says that for him, creating things is a way of learning. Emma, did you open something?
No, it's gone. I'm always clicking the wrong thing, sorry.
Okay. And I've known you, Ben, for a couple of years now, right? And it's been pretty amazing to see like you just completely embrace your own unique voice as a photographer. And yeah.
Hiya.
I'm really excited to have you on.
Thanks for inviting me.
Emma?
Sorry. Yes, yeah. No, we're super excited because there's not many dads doing this, so it's quite interesting to hear it from a perspective. And yeah, so and obviously you're what I like is that you've come from a different angle as well, because you've come actually from an art background and actually, you know, a fine art background, in fact, and as a teacher, and your photography started in that area presumably when you were at school or art school. So we wanted to find out a bit more about that, really, your sort of journey as a photographer and how you landed on family documentary. And whether it was through becoming a father or where it started. I've got some pictures to show as well. I'll find those.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, that's cool. Move me on if I'm wallowing in any particular detail that's not relevant. But because the journey is slightly sort of meandering. But yeah, it started with I remember you asked Diana, the first interview, which is awesome, about her first camera, and I was thinking about that, and my favorite when art school started, like my parents, a Pentax SLR film camera. And so I just took that around with me everywhere, and just like really enjoyed it. Just using that. I didn't really use it for. Am I answering the right question?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me? I've just got this big message saying that our connection's unstable as well.
So. Yeah, you broke up a tiny bit there, but I gathered it was it just about came back to say it was a Pentax, so I did hear that.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. I left basically. After sixth form, I did a year art foundation, and that kind of like a load of things changed for me then. And like the camera that I took this SLR camera around with me like everywhere, and it was just like it was a kind of real source of excitement, I guess. The camera. and there wasn't really any pressure on it because I was doing fine art, and I was just sort of all over the place, like in terms of like what I was doing, and I wasn't necessarily making photographs for art, but so like there was no pressure on the camera at all. Like I just took it around everywhere, and just photograph things, and like we were encouraged to do that as well. So like it was just always sort of drop the film off at Boots and just see what you got, and then take it from there. And then like all of the sort of difficult stuff was, I don't know, like not necessarily with the camera. The difficult stuff was like decide like finding out what to do, that might not have involved anything to do with photography. But so like the photography bit, like where that started for me was just like fun and excitement, and like finding my own way. It was a sort of, I think it was a bit of a symbol of like trying to figure stuff out for myself. Like I really responded to that. I was like so excited about just this opportunity to, no one told you what to do, and I was just like, right, okay, figure out.
How was it like getting the film back then? Because if it's a film camera, you don't really know what you're getting. Was it like a learning process there? Like, oh, I should have done this? Or was it just the joy of even seeing?
No, like I wasn't trying to make good photos. Like
Okay.
it was just anything. And I think like that they were, I don't know, like I just wasn't, there was no pressure. Like I just got back what I got. I was happy. Like I didn't like, and also the camera, I didn't realize how bad it was. Like it was really hard to use, but I didn't like, I wasn't, and because I was doing fine art, I wasn't looking at how to take good, I really wasn't looking at how to take good photos. Like that just didn't occur to me. Like I was looking hard at how to make, you know, art and how to communicate an idea, and with whatever way you're going to do it. But and like the camera was just a way of facilitating that.
Yeah.
And like and the photography, like there was a photography course at the same place, and I was just like I was really aware of it, and the kind of like big universe that is photography. But at the time, I was like really happy to embrace it within fine art, and I felt like it was there, and it was like a friend, and that was great. And I was sort of like taking, yeah, like what I could from it, and also like coming into contact with the word documentary. The first time I kind of like discovered that word was like after you make an artwork, all the tutors say, "Have you documented your work yet?" And that was just the word that everyone used. So there was lots of documentary that went on, like at the end of a creative process as well. And so like there was no pressure on that either. Like you'd finished making stuff, and like you know, tortuously or not, you know, making an artwork, and then that part was really fun because you're sort of like satisfied that you'd finished something. So that, and then you get the camera out and photograph it, and that was sort of like, hey, great. And so like the use of the camera was just really fun, and it was like my little symbol of work.
Was it more like you were exploring ideas when you were taking, like, or anything that caught your eye that could potentially feed into a greater art project?
Yeah,
and that was so. It was that in the same ways people will go around and sketch, and then late ideas that feed into something else.
Yeah, totally. And like my sketchbooks were full of photos, just like with you know, like scribbles all over the photos, and just like fun. Just
do you think
world, you know?
If you think back to when you were there, and there was obviously you were with colleagues on that students as well, did you have a particular affinity to the camera, do you think, compared to other people, where you really you described it as a friend? When we were chatting before, you described your camera as a friend.
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't that not everyone had cameras. Like people had cameras, but not everyone. And so yeah, that was just like a sort of an element that I was happy to use. Yeah, and I think and like some people really knew, because like I'm just thinking I could be talking about my whole art education, but I'm actually just thinking about that first year, and I was just like a big explosion. I was all over the place. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was having loads of fun. And some people really knew what they wanted to do. Like some people were really so focused in painting, and they were going to like choose a degree course, you know, like after that 1 year, and they were just set that, you know, like all of their choices were like painting, 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 and it was just like people, you know, like some people know what they want to do, and others don't.
Still
And,
don't.
uh, but yeah, like but like what I wanted to do did involve photography, like right from the start. Yeah, for sure.
And how does it feel? Like, I'm just curious because you sort of saying it was fun and there was no pressure. How does it feel now for you taking pictures? Is it still fun? Are you still sort of embracing that approach? Or is there a bit more like, oh, I really want to take a good photo now?
I don't know. Oh man.
Or does that depend if you're doing it for yourself or for a client, or you know, or someone else?
Yeah, there's pressure. There is. It's just different because it's really like to do with the exact circumstances of like why you're using it if you're doing it for someone. But I think I slip into play mode quite easily. Like left to my own devices, I'll I think I think I yeah, like I've kind of like, so more recently I've started to try to be more focused about actually taking a successful photo, and uh and I've, you know, like I've looked at that, um but I do think that I've, like from my own experience of my way into photography, like there's just so much history of play that I think that does slip into it.
We're going to talk about an exhibition that you did later at some point during our chat.
Yeah.
Pictures from that, do they reach back a really long way, or are they?
Yeah, they actually go back right from when I was just talking about like that.
Okay, so they
getting a camera and starting art school. Like they go back from those first sketchbooks, and
it's like an autobiographical work.
Show them, Emma.
Sorry.
How about we show them now?
Show that now.
Yeah.
Do you want us to show the video, Ben? Should I show the video?
Yeah. Have you got it?
I have got the video. Right.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Why is it not letting me share?
Oh, we love technology, huh?
Okay. Okay. Pressing the wrong thing as usual. Okay.
Okay.
Can you see that? Yeah.
I can see it.
Right. So this is Ben's. It's just a short clip of your exhibition. So can you talk? It doesn't have sound, does it? You can talk.
I can't remember. Let's see.
Okay. What?
Yeah. So there's 100 of these, and they're the size of Polaroids, but they're all cut out from just like anything visual that I could find from the last 20 years, I guess. From that like first like starting art school to anything, that any like bit of paper that I've left behind in my life, like whether it's a photo or a bit of writing, or you know, from a sketchbook or whatever, or like a holiday snap, or like trying to take a good photo, like whatever, just anything. And I wanted to just like try to put things, I don't know, like to just sort of like put everything in the same way, like view everything in the same way, because like my like I was just talking about like the way I've used photography, my relationship with photography is kind of like evolved. I actually just wanted to, it's like this exhibition was this sort of don't know what to call it, work, this project was actually just like wanting to put it all in the same light, like find a way of looking at anything visual that I've created, and look at it in the same way. So like a sketchbook page, or a photo that I've made that like that
I love it. It's
trying to be a good photo or a photo that's not trying to be a good photo. Just like find a format to try to see everything in the same, from the same point of view.
It's like a giant, I know, it's like collage on a really giant scale. It's
Yeah.
like collaging your life.
Yeah.
I bet
Like
it was really
glimpse.
fun. Did you have a template or anything? Let me stop sharing. Did you have a template that you would like of the Polaroid size that you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did.
I bet that was a really enjoyable tactile process.
Yeah, I love processes like that.
Yeah.
Just love it.
It's quite therapeutic.
And I was happy to cut out sketchbook pages and you know, destroy things like it, because it felt really creative. So I was kind of happy to just do that and just see where it went and try to create whatever it was.
So the things that are like, so in that exhibition, obviously you have some things that are photos that you've cut to size, but also you've got some things where it's maps and sketchbooks and things. So they're not photographs of the thing; they are the actual thing that you.
Yeah, they're the actual thing. Like yeah. There's a placemat with like just a map on it, and I just took that and just I had that for ages. That was just you know, those sort of little bits. I'm not a big collector, but these little bits and pieces that you just sort of store away for like reasons, you know, you have no idea why, but for some reason I just kept this placemat.
I'll show. There's some of them here actually on. Can you see those now? These are some of the close-up images that you sent.
No, you need to share. You're not sharing.
I'm not shared. Oh, sorry. There you go.
How are you sharing?
Yeah. So it gives a real like a sort of three-dimensionality to it, because you've got some things that are cut out from things you've actually made and drawn. I don't know. It adds a dimension, I think.
It feels like it's almost like a glimpse into your head.
Yeah.
And like what goes on and the sort of the jumble. I think any artist, any creative can relate to this jumble of things that sort of happen inside. And I think you've managed to kind of like just create a glimpse of it for people to kind of just stand there and marvel at what goes in Ben's head.
Yeah, like, you know, like people talk about the kind of instincts or curiosity that you have, like the moment before you take a photo. You know, like and like just what that is, and like that's personal to anyone, and but you have something that, you know, that you feel sometimes when that moves you to want to respond to, you know, taking a photo. And that, like, there was a little bit of that about just approaching all these bits of paper. Just like I was really aware that that there was some bits of relevance for me, that reasons why I'd kept some of them. That was just like there was a bit, I don't know, like just there's a bit of relevance there, and then as I was cutting more out, I was just thinking about that more as well. I did know that some bits I wanted to use, and I didn't really know. I wasn't really. It didn't really matter, like that there wasn't a kind of overall coherent reason why every single piece is necessary. But I just was quite interested in focusing on those things that I knew that were relevant or that were like moving me to keep or to use or whatever. Like I knew I wanted that donkey, like, and like that's just in my head, like, and it was in my head like right from when I took the photo. It's just, you know, that those sort of like things just stay in your mind, and it's a really lovely, precious memory. I don't really know why, but it's just one of those ones that stuck from that trip I did, and I just love it. It's just something that is that kind of like a lot hangs on that, you know.
But when you were,
so, like, I was just sort of yeah, go on.
I was going to say, when you were first gathering the idea of doing this, was there some ideas that you had in your head that you knew you wanted to find amongst your belongings, like the donkey?
Like, I mean, the main reason for all of it was trying to sort of process life a bit more as a part of creativity. I think I wrote about this at some point, that like I'd never really kept a diary, and like when I was younger and at art school, I wasn't really interested in my own in autobiography. I wasn't interested in keeping a diary. I wasn't interested in like details from life, from my own life particularly, um, or like I didn't think I was anyway. I was just interested in ideas and just like exploring stuff um, and I think like revisiting photography like now, or like sort of changing my relationship with photography in more recent years, I've kind of like um, I've re-examined that. I've kind of I've looked. I found, especially like after storytellers, there's a lot of there was so much at storytellers, but one of the things for me after that that I came away with was um, I was aware that I was more interested in real life maybe than I thought I was. And so like when I was younger, I was looking at things and thinking I was just thinking about the ideas and, oh, look at this artwork, isn't it an amazing idea? Isn't that amazing? But I think maybe after Storytellers, I came back, I kind of re-looked at a few artists. Actually, one of the ones that I gave you, Claire Richardson, and just like re-looked at them and looked at them in terms of like their own lives a bit more, like looked into their biographies and like re-examined what I was interested in them in the first place. And I kind of was just thinking I was maybe not as aware of the kind of biography element and the real life element of what was really resonating with me at the time, like when I was 18. I thought I was just into ideas. I thought I was just interested in making work and like forward thinking. Like all my own notes and sketchbooks were about trying to find a way forward, trying to make an idea, trying to find an artwork to do. They were all about looking forward, and
yeah,
it weren't about
expanding your mind and ideas and
and they kind of were overlooking. I think a lot of it was like I wasn't interested in examining my own life too much. I wasn't keeping a diary. I wasn't. So like that whole thing of like family photography, like I thought I was a million miles away from that. But it's so funny, like looking at someone like Claire Richardson. So like after Storytellers, I went back and looked at people like Claire Richardson, who this photographer is. And so I saw this work in an art gallery, and she did this amazing project where she photographed these kids in a Steiner community in America. And I was so moved by it. But like I said, I thought I was really interested just by the ideas. And as well, I think I was probably more moved by, because she's a photographer, like she's learned photography. It's not just, it's like the images aren't accidents, like with me, like going around, like, you know, like she's learned how to take photos. And I think I was not as aware of that, of the actual, you know, craft of photography. And I was just looking at the fine art project, this thing, and because at the time as well, like photography was like entering into fine art as more of a thing, and galleries were full of photographs. It was quite normal for me to go on a gallery day and see purely photographs. And I was like, really, because, you know, I had my camera, I thought that's all fine, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't think much of a lot of this work that I was seeing was done by people who were like trained photographers. They weren't like all over the place fine art people like me, you know, like, or some of them weren't. Like, so I kind of suspect that I was really moved by some things, like with Claire Richardson's work. Like there's sort of themes there that are kind of, I think are relevant, but there's a lot to do with the kind of just the fact that she's taking pictures from life, and the fact that and it's so funny as well, because this is a project of kids, and like there I was as an 18-year-old, like really being moved by it, thinking I'm being moved by this, you know, like amazing like just project as what for what the idea was. But I'm sure I was just moved by like what was actually happening, like, you know, the people, the looks, the emotions, and
I think looking back, when you came back from Storytellers and looked at it a second time, like you went back to it, do you think you saw it with different eyes?
Yeah, for sure. And so like I was really happy after Storytellers. I was really happy to just reinvest like the stuff that I know I've been moved by and that's resonated with me. I was happy to sort of re-examine that from a bit more of a biographical perspective, to just like blur creativity, like all the creativity that I've enjoyed and appreciated, like all the fine art work that I've been influenced by. I've been really like happy to muddy it all with people's lives and life a bit more, and not just look at the pure idea like behind.
Do you think that's partly becoming a father and having to embrace a bit more chaos in your own life?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's just all like I'm just like finally growing up.
Yeah, and being in touch with a different side of yourself as a parent as well, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, and it's just funny. Like, and it's interesting. So like going back to that exhibition of mine, like. So I just wanted to do that on myself anyway. That was like the main reason I did it, was just I felt there was a whole load of not quite examined enough stuff that I wanted to just wrap my own life up in it a little bit more, and that was kind of relevant to do. Like I just wanted to do that.
What I find lovely about it is sometimes when I'm taking pictures and I think, oh, why am I taking a picture of that? You know, when it's like nothing, you know, like well, it seems like, you know, like just because the window light's pretty, or because the dead flower's nice, or whatever it is. And just seeing that as a autobiographical visual diary, it makes sense taking those sort of images, because it's part of what you're thinking, and how you're expressing yourself. It's really lovely.
There's a comment from Alison over on Facebook. She says it feels like images we see when we close our eyes and think about our lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a dream.
Rowena actually asked, she's like, curious where this work lives now. So do you store them, those squares?
Oh, yeah, it's in a box.
Nice.
with a whole load of stuff I wrote about each one. In like one evening I wrote a kind of, not a caption, but just a splurge like I'm doing now.
Did you include the writing in your exhibition, or was it just visual?
I did, yeah. I did. I had loads of swearing in. Like I just really went for it. And so yeah, like you just had that. You like had 1 to 100, and there was.
So it was instinctively what you felt. You wrote.
Yeah, like really, really personal. Like really not crafted at all. really.
I think that goes with that style. Because the pictures are taken like that, aren't they? A lot of them. It's like, oh, I'm going to take a picture of this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a moment that's inspired you to take a picture. So actually writing in that style matches really not, even though it's a totally different time. Yeah. Looking back at the image, it's what you're feeling. Looking back at it instinctively makes sense to go together.
Yeah, absolutely. And like again, just like thinking about my younger self, I think one of the reasons of like why I wasn't so interested in the messiness of life, like as kind of like bound with creativity, probably was a bit of like pompousness or like trying to be professional. Yeah. You know, and trying to, and like whatever, I like, you know, like as if you know what, as if I knew what that meant anyway. Like,
aren't all teenagers like that? We're all a bit full of ourselves at that stage, you know. Think you know everything.
It's like, yeah, like I mean, it's not sad because I had so much fun and like it was a real explosion for me. Like I just really had to do it, but it's a little bit like sad thinking about some limitations that might be on you, you know, like that you weren't necessarily wholly aware of. So
that's what, you know, the wisdom comes with age, doesn't it? So
yeah,
and that's part of the beauty of getting old. There's not many beautiful things about getting old, but that is one of them.
Shall we look at some Ben's images now? Because you sent us a bunch.
Yeah.
And talk about them. And there's one older one. Did you want to start with that, Ben, or like?
Oh,
The
do
black
you
and
mind
white
if I
one.
talk about Rebecca Norris Webb?
Yeah, do you want
Yeah.
to speak to me? Yeah, let
Yeah,
me.
sorry. Like, because Emma, you just made me think. You know, when you're just saying like nothing, like when you're talking about
Yeah.
taking a picture of nothing, like, do you know, like
That's
this?
a really good example of something
Yeah,
beautiful.
like this spoke
Beautifully
makes me
nothing.
think just of that. Like, so like that the first Claire Richardson, the other photographer, like I just included that because that was someone that was like moved by her work, like right from when I was young. Um, and like Rebecca Norris Webb is someone who I'm really influenced by in the last year or so.
Yeah.
And I think that she's like her work is just unbelievable, and it's a really good example of like what you just said, Emma, like of not being afraid to point your camera at nothing,
Yeah.
because like, you know, like the word mundane, it's used a lot in documentary family photography sometimes, of, you know, like celebrating the mundane, and, you know, just things like that, and like that's great, you know, but and I kind of think that you kind of see examples of work that people do, and it's almost as if like that word mundane is getting unpacked in front of your eyes, into something else. Like, it doesn't just stop at that word mundane. Oh, I'm mundane, I found it, I'm gonna like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
something like this where it is a mundane scene. It's a coat hanging in the room and the snow outside, but it's so intricate that it's beautiful. Mundane makes something sound like it should be boring, but it doesn't have to be. And I think that's a really important lesson that you can take from someone like Rebecca, that mundane isn't boring. It's just as important, and just as beautiful. This is gorgeous. I love all the intricate layers, and
You can see inside a little bit. Yeah. I was just thinking, like, I know for myself, like I used to, when I started photography, when there was this sort of, as Ben, you said earlier, there's this curiosity and this kind of, there's no pressure. Like, you just point your camera at things you find interesting, you take pictures of them. But I feel like I've forgotten to do that a little bit over the years. And sometimes you kind of look at the scene, you know, this is not going to work out. The light is rubbish. Like, even though you're really interested in that visual in front of you, and then you don't take a picture. Well, I don't. And I've been trying over the last year, I think, as well, to kind of just point my camera at things and just take a picture, whatever it is. So there is an interesting journey there, I think, and sort of looking at work like that as well, going like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I think that sometimes there's you kind of want to elevate the mundane a little bit, but sometimes you shouldn't. Sometimes it should just remain as it is.
yeah.
And like, I think sometimes the mundane is boring. Like, it's just, you know, like you unpack that word and there's boredom there, and but other times you like I don't know, like that photo makes me just think of some kind of revelation or something. There's just something in it, and I don't know what, but it's really beautiful, and that's like really inspiring. It's just like,
Who is it who talks about, what is it, Christina Nieborg, who talks about boredom and how she loves boredom because it makes you explore in a different way, and it's really true. Boredom and mundanity are really important emotions and feelings to sit with, because it can help you move forward in a different way.
Yeah, I think it's even in education. I know, Benny, like you come from a teaching background as well. Like this, and with childhood education as well, I read a lot about like how we shouldn't really occupy kids 24/7. Like we should allow them to be bored. But I think we also have forgotten how to be bored ourselves, because there's always something, right? There's always like, we have to be productive. We have to be like doing stuff. But it's not always helpful.
That's so true, because I think I've found, I don't know if anyone else found this, just I'm going to talk about COVID now. But when the real lockdown happened in the UK, and there was about 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, where we couldn't really do anything except just a small walk outside the house, and how light I felt, because a lot of the pressure and the 24-hourness of life just seemed to evaporate, and suddenly I was just able to appreciate really, really simple things in life. And actually, now that things are starting to come, well, it's funny now because it's kind of a bit of a halfway house. You know, we're back to normal, but not quite back to normal. And I'm finding it really difficult to, like before, I seemed to be able to manage juggling everything. And then there's this piece. And now I've got to pick up all these balls again. And I can't remember how I juggled them all. Like, how did I manage all this before? Yeah, anyway.
So that's just because I saw like with your Instagram, Ben, I don't know if there's a bunch of photos that I think you took during lockdown, right? There's a bunch of photos that I think you took of your son and your wife during lockdown, right?
Yeah.
How did you find that? Like, how did you find sort of being?
I found that the outside was really important, and I didn't take many pictures inside, but I took loads of pictures outside. And like that was a really big thing actually. Like just our playground closed, and then like we live right by Bushy Park, so Leo was really game. He was just like, right, okay, let's explore every inch of this park, right, every day, and that just became our life. Like it was just sort of that we just slipped into that straight away.
Yeah.
And then like a few months later, there's nothing but outside photos. That's and like so much so I actually I put a few of them together recently into a book. I even called it Lockdown Outside. I'll put it on social media at some point, like the book, and just like all outside photos over lockdown. And like that was our experience really. And also like Leah's just starting school, and so like the last photo was just like the last outside photo from this like bunch that I was taking and looking at. It was like just a week or so before he started school, so it was just kind of, I don't know, like that was just him. That was Leo. That was like Leo's time, like before starting a different thing altogether. It's with school, like just being a kind of outside kid. And that's just
It's quite a nice final hurrah of being preschool, being able to just be outside for 6 months non-stop. But it's a nice way to end that period in his life.
It was really free, and like I do sort of like, you try and like with personal work, like you do just try and think of relevant themes sometimes, with some like a kind of like a work that you might wonder about pulling together somehow. And like that for me, like just seeing Leo and outside and everything like that, I started to think of that word a bit actually, like as a theme as well, just and just in terms of creativity. And
but it's also interesting because if you look at a lot of projects that sort of sprung around lockdown, they all inside. And sort of to go actually, which is also was my sort of lockdown experiences. We've been to the sea so many times, and we've sort of not during the actual lockdown but after, and just going out. That's something you don't actually see that much, which is really cool.
Are any of the pictures you shared with us, are they some of those from lockdown?
Oh yeah, I've done a few stories. Oh sorry, those. The one eating sandwiches. That was the one that was.
This one.
Before he started
school. I love it.
That seemed a bit of a marker of just like his sort of just kind of established himself like outside with how he is. his little limitless self, just
Yeah.
just boundless. And that was, so like this photo was a bit of a bookend for me, like just considering him.
Sorry.
And this was at the start of lockdown.
Oh, this one, was it?
Yeah, in our courtyard.
Was that his birthday?
It was, yeah. He was unlucky. He was just like
COVID birthday.
Yeah, just by a few weeks. Game.
Wow.
Pippa was really game. Like, you know. We took all pandas outside to Bushy Park. We had a picnic.
Because you couldn't do it with friends. You had panda friends instead. Nice.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, I love both. I love all these pictures.
Yeah, the sandwich one, I thought when I saw it on your Instagram, I thought it was like a painting.
Yeah. What's interesting about that is obviously I've only ever seen it on my phone, and it's the detail in it. It's gorgeous. On my computer screen. I'm just going to show, as we're talking about personal stuff, I'm going to go back to this first one that you sent us.
Oh yeah. Yeah, did I say that was, I thought I'd just include that because that's obviously when like Leo's really young, and I think I was like starting to, you know, just like actually work out how to take pictures. So so I thought I'd just include that as like the beginning of like that.
Yeah.
That journey, that point.
Your start of being photographing as a family.
Like, thinking of what I was responding to, I guess.
The connection between Pippa and Leo, and sort of capturing that, because I think a lot of the images about the connection between them.
But also I think what's really strong in your images, Ben, which I think comes from your background, is the compositional element of it. It's very natural for you to see shapes like the angle of her, Pippa's elbow and in the centre, and that sort of diamond shape between them, and the mimicking, the mirroring of their faces, and again the lines of the mats are also mimicking the shape of her elbow and things. And I think that all comes really naturally to you.
Yeah, it's funny, like I just going through photos anyway, and like that this one sort of stood out, and I don't know, I've no idea, like I don't know whether I even attempted like to sort of process it or anything. This was just like right at the beginning when I was just pointing and shit, and I had a 50mm lens, and so it kind of threw me into them a bit more as well. And so like I kind of I really like shapes and things. Like all the fine art work I did was some of it was just really abstract and just with like strong formal shape elements. And so I think I was like kind of happy to find that more than I maybe expected to, like starting to explore photography, just photography. Like I was kind of like, yeah, like you said, Emma, I really enjoyed the kind of abstract elements as well, but also like this sort of just the love content. Like I was just responding to sort of like emotional thing, I guess.
And that, I guess, yeah, compared to when you're younger, that's much deeper once you've kind of developed as a person and found your sort of life partner and your children and things like that. It's that understanding of emotion and love and depth all becomes more accentuated.
Do you know, you were going to ask me about fatherhood.
Yeah.
I did think of that, but I've completely drawn blank. There's nothing I can contribute. Like,
but your pictures show it. I mean, what I actually maybe not so much fatherhood. It's more because you're taking the picture as a father. I'm seeing a visual representation of motherhood, and I think that's what I don't get from other photographers, and that's what's really beautiful. It's your response to Pippa and Leo, and that's lovely to see.
I think Emma, you're right, because for us, like as mothers, we don't see ourselves through our partner's eyes or like whatever, And it's so unusual, I guess, to see such honest documentation, especially including not just the children, but the parent as well. Because I guess a lot of photography, at least that I see, it's a lot of just the children, because the partner is not included for whatever reason. Maybe they don't want to be in the pictures, they don't want to be on Instagram. But your work really kind of like shows us almost like what it would look like if someone photographed our life.
Yeah. And obviously we do that if we're shooting clients and things, but there's an extra level of emotion here because it's your family. The depth and the beauty of it is elevated to that little bit further. And it's it's really beautiful to watch as a mother. It's myself. I love seeing it. I think, like you said, Antonina, because I don't often get to see that myself in images, which shows why it's really important to have pictures taken of yourself. But this is really beautiful.
You know, like the word family, that word. I kind of sometimes I feel like I'm wrong-footed by that word. Like it sort of feels a little bit like I don't really know what to say about fatherhood, and I don't know if I know what to say about family either. Like family as a word, you have to use it sometimes, and as soon as I do, or sometimes when I hear it or read it, just see that word, like I just think like I just feel wrong-footed a bit, maybe because I'm sort of thinking of myself and not really fully feeling like I've got a big coherent understanding of what that word is. Like sometimes I think like to use the word family, like family photography, I'm a family photographer, blah blah blah. Like you kind of need to have you need to know what you're saying, you know. And I never think I do. Like I think I don't know. I don't have a kind of like definition of what my understanding of family is. And I actually think that like that's not a problem for me. It's just I often just get wrong-footed when I come across that word family sometimes. Like, and it's not a negative thing, but I actually just I like for us, like what I feel I can speak about is just, you know, like living as as a group. Like we're just, you kind of like, I don't know what we are, but like we kind of, you sort of, you're just new each day. Like you just what you are as a family, it just forms itself daily. And I've always felt like that. And it's not a negative thing. It just means that I kind of have a slight funny relationship with that word family, because sometimes I think I'm supposed to know what it means, but like I'm spending my time with Leo and Pippa, and as far as I'm aware, like what we are is kind of made anew every day, and like newness is like, I've got this sort of thing about newness, and like what a family is that anyway, that it's a kind, it's not a negative thing. It's like where the love is. It's like, that's thinking about love, like that's where the love is. And like that's just sort of like, you try to be honest, and you try to sort of like think about what's real life, like what is the three of us, what is our real life.
It's really interesting hearing you say this, because it maps really well onto, you know, when you were talking about art school and then looking back over your pictures for the exhibition, and how you almost take pictures to try and understand the situation and how things are going on. And it's like you're using photography to process your ideas and thoughts, and you're kind of doing that within your own family to process the idea of your togetherness and love and family, or whatever it is, or unification, or whatever.
Yeah, that's
it's
like
exploring the idea for you.
Yeah, so that's like my best kind of point of view of family anyway, of just the kind of the way that it just sort of reveals itself, like, and like that sort of nature of it. And so like the thing about like photographing it just seems to fall out of that quite happily, like, because you feel like I feel like I'm really keen on responding to moments within a family then, because I kind of feel that that's important, you know, like about you kind of feel that that's almost that's that's kind of almost everything
The
of life.
meaning of, it's like the meaning of life.
Well, just like what a family can be is
Mm.
just for me anyway. Like it's just like 90% confusion and like a few key moments where you think that you like, you know, that things make sense, and or like a moment of revelation or something, and so like the momentariness of the experience of family, like I feel really drawn to, and like that, and like want to photograph it, whatever that is, you know, like just what however that reveals itself. I think, but that's like that's my real kind of thing, I guess, like my real interest.
Mm-hmm. This is lovely. It's abstract, but it shows their togetherness and closeness.
Yeah, that was with the 50 as well. That was when I still had the 50.
So what do you shoot with now, Ben?
28.
Okay, so just the 28.
Yeah, at the moment.
Mm.
And I've got a 35 and a 24, but I normally use the 28.
You just like it's like, I think a lot of people can relate to sort of choosing one focal length, and that's how you see it, and they're just.
Are you? Is your camera a full frame or a crop frame?
It's a Fuji crop frame.
So the 28 relates to what sort of a length?
Oh, it's actually like
35.
No, sorry, it's the actual literal size is like 8. Is what is it?
So it's actually shooting like a 28.
Yeah, it's an 18.
Right. Okay.
But it's equivalent to 27, I think, actually. It's equivalent.
Okay. Alison's asking, is the sandwich shot done with a 28?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Then I guess you sort of the advantage of just mainly shooting with one focal length, I guess, and sort of really intimately knowing the lens is that you don't need to think about like where to stand. So you just know where you need to be to get that shot that you have in your head. Because I often find like when I'm using zooms, for example, it's like it's almost harder.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities that you just completely get confused, and I don't like shooting with zooms.
I think I'd feel like that. I don't have a zoom, but I think I'd feel like that with it.
There's like literally, so if you have like 24-70, that's, you know, like 50 different options they can choose, and it's just not helpful.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of respect for people who can have a bunch of different lenses and just like, you know, like bring out a different camera or a different lens like quickly and be able to just be in the zone for whatever it is. That's just amazing. Like I have these big sort of, if I think of changing the lens on the camera just with what I'm using at home, it's like a big event for me. It's like I work up for it, you know. But yeah, the 28 just stays on the camera really at the moment. It's done so for about a year.
Yeah.
I really like it because I've never actually like thought about. I don't think that there is that focal length for the cameras that I have. But Emma, you shoot with 24, right? And I shoot mainly with 35.
Actually, my first wide angle lens was a 28.
Oh, right.
I loved the 28 actually. It's a really nice length. I shot the same. I think I stuck it on my camera and kept it there for months and months, almost until it stopped focusing very well. And then got a different fetish. I think I went wider and went to 24 at that point.
What I also like about your work, Ben, is you seem to have this feel for light. So Emma was talking about shapes, but I think you see the light in a very different and unique way, and you see light and shadows. And I like wonder how much of it probably a lot of it comes from your fine art background, because you need to understand light in order to kind of paint and create art. And it's really different. There was a thing that shot that you didn't include it here, but I remember you had that shot of like English breakfast on the table or something or
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
And it's like, it's just like a painting because of the way you captured light there and how it's fallen on that mess of a table with,
Yeah.
you know, beans and bacon and, and
Yeah,
sausages.
yeah,
That was,
like,
yeah.
I think that um, light's one of the really exciting things. I'm like, a lot of people talk about light, obviously, and it's just such a it's something that it's like everything changes when the sun comes out, or you know, or when the light changes. It's just
But I feel like you kind of have this unique way of using light as well. It's not obvious. It's not an obvious way to use light the way you use it. Like usually people talk about like having, you know, well lit picture and like sort of, you know, properly exposed. But I think you're much more playful with it, which I just adore.
Well, there's a lovely picture where actually compositionally it's quite abstract and cool as well, but and the story behind it. There's the one with there's a clock on the wall, and it's like I think Pippa's holding Leo in a bath towel, and you've got lovely mixed light.
yeah, yeah,
It really says bedtime. There's various references to it that make you realise the story of bedtime, but that's got a lovely use of light in that picture.
yeah,
Not on this
that's
section either.
that's at Pippa's mum's house, and like she's got this amazing house where the light just does incredible things, and
I'm so jealous of houses that like that. My house is the most flattest, boring light, no quirky windows of where it's coming in different ways. And then I think, oh, if I'd have only realised that when we moved here, I wouldn't have moved here.
I think you've got some lights right behind you, it looks like.
Yeah, I know it's a bit of a shitty place to have a computer. I'm badly exposed here. I have to sit up really straight so that I block out some of the lights so the computer can see me more. If I go down there, it gets darker. Let me stop. There. Do we have any other questions, Antonina? We've gone through lots.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things. There's some comments about like motherhood and things like, so Charlene was saying, I'm really drawn to motherhood too. And I think it's because it was lacking being captured in my own motherhood journey. Alison is saying, Pippa is every mother in a way. I feel drawn to the images with her.
She's famous amongst all of us.
Yeah.
What does she realise?
How does Pippa feel about this being every mother?
How does people feel about it? Oh, I don't know. I'll ask her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's like I kind of like I want to think that the things that that resonate with me are in that are in everyone's life. Like I'm sure they are, you know, like just this sort of, because they feel quite basic. It's just like a condition of us just being together, like starting a family, and just having the way that you just your life kind of your togetherness just kind of like works out each day, and so it's like it's definitely come from my own experience, like a lot of the sort of like motivation and passion to document life, but I do feel like I feel really excited at the idea of just finding it, generally speaking. Like I feel quite just really interested and like keen to explore it you know, and I might be mad, you know, like I might just be thinking like it might be just my own thing, you know, that I'm kind of honest about, and like like to explore in my own context. But I'd really like to think that it's something that is like with Rebecca Norris Webb. I feel like there's a possibility of things resonating from such a place that is so little. It's such a almost nothingness, you know, thing that she's looking at, like that photo, but it can resonate with someone else, you know, and like it's really inspiring to think that that's possible. So like I kind of want to think that what I'm excited about family is it's possible for that to just it's like really unknown, but I wouldn't like that to be contained just between our own four walls, you know, like I kind of I'm really interested and excited about the idea of finding that in other people, I guess, and just and the kind of nature of people's lives. I think photography for me has like helped get, because I'm quite shy, like in a lot of ways, but like I remember, Emma, you were talking last week a little bit about curiosity, like with people as well. Like and like you spend any amount of time with people and they're amazing, and you love them, and they're just people that are just wonderful. And photography for me is like helped me like reach out and connect with other people as well, with other photographers and like the families that I photographed. It's like the most incredible experience. Like I can't believe how incredible it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. People letting you into something intimate.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. It's just a really big deal.
Well, I think that what sort of I was thinking as you were saying that is that a lot of art, like the whole purpose of art, apart from sort of self-discovery, but it's also to maybe resonate with other people and kind of encourage others to think about stuff. And when you were talking about family and sort of trying to discover the meaning of family, I think that's really interesting, because I guess like there is a definition of family that we have in our heads, or like a visual image as it's been pushed on us over the years of like commercial photography and all that. You know, this is what the family is supposed to look like. This is what family life is supposed to look like. And actually being very honest and very vulnerable and sort of capturing those instinctively capturing those moments of love and sort of exploring what it means to you. Because I think every family is different, right? So every family has its own way of being a family, and I think that's what you're doing, sort of just really being curious and open about like, this is what it is for us, this is what it is for the other families that I photograph, and not coming into any preconceived notion of what it's supposed to be. And how you
preconception is that's a really good word. Not having that preconception and just being open to everyone being different is really
and I think that honesty, that your honesty and sort of vulnerable, I can't even say that word, vulnerability in sort of showing your own family life in that way, I think that really clearly resonates with a lot of mothers.
I think Pippa's collaboration, I know they're natural moments, but her collaboration with you in her letting herself be photographed in vulnerable moments is really beautiful, and that honesty it comes across, and it's really I always want more people to feel comfortable enough with themselves to be able to show that, rather than a polished version.
And I think like we've been asked before about how do we encourage, you know, other people to, you know, embrace documentary photography and all that. But that's how. It's just by showing your honest, authentic self, and like not edited, not like you're showing the quiet moments and kind of moments of exasperation and tiredness and all that, and showing how that can be actually captured in a beautiful and really artful way.
Yeah.
we're probably going to have to wrap up soon, but if anyone has any questions before we do for Ben, please let us know. I think we covered a lot of the stuff that people have asked in terms of what inspires you. So we talked a lot about that. Oh, there was a question about the exhibition and the video. Is there a video of the show we might be able to see? And did you read it aloud? I assume she was referring to the captions. Or is that the video that you sent us? That's the video.
Yeah, that was the show. I've got like one photo of the whole thing, but it's so wide that you don't really.
We can't really see them.
But yeah, like they were just in 2 rows. It was maybe about 5 meters long, something like that.
Can we put that video on Facebook, on the group?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe people can. I can see people watching it on loop.
Ben, you need to make something more with this. You need to do a post-exhibition video of it. If you've got them all in a box, where film you showing each image and speaking the caption and doing that 100 times.
I've not read them through for a while.
You're not allowed to change them though.
Oh man.
Because like, so whoever said that, I don't know who said it, it's true. It'd be really nice to see it with your voice and hear it with your voice at the same time.
Yeah.
A continuation.
That could be narration.
For all of the, for all the Ben Heasman fans around the world that you obviously have, who couldn't make it to the exhibition, it would be a lovely interactive sort of mixed media way of seeing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're waiting for this now.
Come on.
Remember, like, just be careful what you ask for. There were 100 of these.
I know, this is like 2 hours of swearing and pictures.
These 4 viewers in the gallery, they did have to, like, just sift through, like.
Oh, there's some hearts coming up there, so people are excited about this idea. Right, people are saying thanks and they loved listening to you and chat about life and family and photography, so I think we can wrap up now.
Thanks, Ben. It's been amazing. I knew this would be really fun and fascinating.
So you don't switch off, Ben. Emma, just stop